Hello, my nerdlings. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my channel where we get nerdy. Again, excuse the traffic sounds. It's a holiday weekend, so everybody is out traveling. So today, I need to film a book haul. This is like a late birthday book haul. And there's a couple arcs, so I stand corrected. Not all of it's birthday. So I think yeah. So I'll start with the arcs first, which one of them is already released because the store didn't receive the arc until a week after the book was released. And that is A Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. This is the prequel to We Were Liars, which is like huge on TikTok. I don't normally read a lot of contemporary. Definitely don't read a lot of YA contemporary. Let me take the little letter they sent with the book out. So these are the end pages. And then a broken seashell and some foiling. It says, lying runs in the family. A windswept private island off the coast of Massachusetts, a hungry ocean churning with secrets and sorrow, a fiery, addicted heiress, an irresistible, unpredictable boy, a summer of unforgivable betrayal and terrible mistakes. 27 years before the events of We Were Liars comes another summer, another generation, and the secrets that will haunt them for decades. A story that is scandalous, tragic, and layered in mystery. Welcome back to the Sinclair family. They were always liars. So, I'm kind of intrigued, but we'll see. Like, it's not my normal thing to read. My store manager gave it to me because she's like, well, you read YA. I said, yes. She's like, well, we need to boost the sales of this book. So here, have some homework. And that was the beginning of May. And I still haven't started it because I've been working on Empire of the Vampire. And I'm not going to stop that to read this. Sorry. The other arc I got is Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book apparently is going to be like a super big push for us booksellers to read and get sales on, because Barnes & Noble, apparently they're one of the big wigs, is like really in love with the book, but I don't know. I grabbed it because of this tiny little blurb on the back. An immersive novel about two childhood friends once estranged who reunite as adults to create video games, finding an intimacy in digital worlds that eludes them in their real life. And like, that kind of hit home because the majority of my friends and the people that I talk to on a regular basis are virtual friends. And there's more openness and vulnerability with those friends on the internet than there are with some of the friends I have in real life. So it kind of hit a spot for me. Yeah. Some of my best friends that know literally everything about me, I've never met in real life. And probably never will meet them, even though I have invited them to come stay with us if they ever wanted to come to Maine. But, oh well, someday maybe. So, and I think this cover is just beautiful. I don't know why. It caught my eye and I liked it, so I definitely grabbed it and took it home. So those are my 2 arcs that I have. I guess we'll just start in with presents. So, first one I have is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. There's no way I'm pronouncing this female character's name correctly. But Aginska, maybe, loves her valley home in a quiet village, but the corrupted wood stands on the border, full of I can't read today. My goodness. Malevolent power, and its shadow lies over her life. Her people rely on the cold-driven wizard known only as the dragon to keep the wood's dark forces at bay. But he demands a terrible price for his assistance. Every 10 years, one young woman must be handed over to serve him without question. The next choosing is fast approaching, and she knows, everyone knows, that the dragon will take Cassia. Beautiful, graceful, brave Cassia. All the things she isn't, and her dearest friend in the world. And there's no way to save her. But when the dragons come, it's not Cassia he will choose. I know Naomi Novik does a lot of retellings, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a retelling. I can't even remember exactly which one it's supposed to be based off from, because I'm terrible with fairy tales. So, but I'm intrigued. I've been intrigued for this one for a long time. I'd never gotten it, so now I have it. And the cover, I like that illustration a lot. So, and then number 2, Naomi Novik, Spinning Silver. This is obviously a fairy tale. And Miriam is the daughter and granddaughter of moneylenders, but her father's inability to collect his debts has left his family on the edge of poverty. Until she takes matters into her own hands, hardening her heart, the young woman sets out to claim all that is owed, and soon gains a reputation for being able to turn silver into gold. When an ill-advised boast draws the attention of the king, Grim, the king of the Stark? Yeah, sure. Grim fey creatures who seem more ice than flesh, her fate and the 2 kingdoms will be altered forever. She will face an impossible challenge and, along with 2 unlikely allies, uncover a secret that threatens to consume the lands of humans and Stark alike. It kind of gives me Rumpelstiltskin vibes. I don't know why. Maybe because of the whole money thing and him having like a thing for gold. So, again, more beautiful artwork, in my opinion. Next, we have Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. I've picked this up because it is Jade from Jady Ray Reads, one of her favorite books. Sebastian is hands down one of her favorite authors. And I couldn't get it at my store. I couldn't get the first one. I could get the other ones, but not the first one. So I ordered it off Book Depository. It's actually the UK cover because it says it's £8.99 right there. But magic is a con game. Kellen is moments away from facing his first mage's duel and the start of 4 trials that will make him a spellcaster. There's just one problem. His magic is gone. As his 16th birthday approaches, Kellen falls back on his cunning until a daring stranger challenges him to take a different path. I don't know why. It just... And the cover gives me Gambit vibes from, Marvel. So, I'm intrigued. And the way Jade rants about this, I'm obviously probably going to love it. She's the one that did the Witchlands along last year. And she only sort of likes the Witchland series. And I loved it. And she loves this. So I'm going to trust her judgment on it and think I will love it too. Next is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. So this is a band of retired mercenaries. Turn up at the leader's door because they need some help. And so they get back together to solve this situation. I am doing a terrible job at pitching this. It's just my brain just does not want to work today. There's a lot of references to 70s and 80s rock bands, hence why it says the boys are back in town on the cover. There's some funny little tidbits and everything. I watched an interview of Mike Books Reviews and Nicholas Eames, and that's the only reason I picked it up, was that interview. Because apparently I am loving all of his interviews, and I just have decided to pick up the books from almost everybody that he's interviewed, except Jim Butcher, because the Dresden Files is a long series. But I did look at picking up the Codex Alera, because, I mean, it was a reading challenge where he had to mix Pokemon with something else. So I like Pokemon. I'm a 90s baby. So yeah, Pokemon. I'm going to jump on that. But anyways, but it's, according to John Gwynn, a fantastic read, a rollicking, page-turning, edge-of-your-seat road trip of a book, great character, lovable rogues that I genuinely cared about, and all the manner of fantastical monsters, all spiced with a sly sense of humor that had me smiling throughout. I'm convinced. So, yeah. And it honestly doesn't look that big. So, next, this one I have been trying to find for a long time in non-mass market. I do not like reading mass market paperback. My hands struggle to open them far enough that I can see what's more towards the spine, and I hate breaking my spines on my books. So it's been a task. I ended up being ordered off of Book Depository as well, and that is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. At the convent of Sweet Mercy, girls are raised to be killers. Some inherited old bloods, which bestow upon them special talents. Sweet Mercy hones its novices' skill with care. It takes 10 years to educate a Red Sister in the deadly arts of blade and fist. But even the mistresses of sword and shadow don't fully understand what they have purchased when Nona Gray is brought into their halls as a child of 8, accused of murder, but guilty of worse. In her short life, Nona has made powerful enemies, and despite the security and isolation of the convent, her violent past will one day find out. Nona must face her demons and become a deadly assassin if she is to survive. And apparently I'm just like in the mood for all the dark fantasy lately, between this and Empire of the Vampire and a couple other books I have. I want to say when I first started watching BookTube 2 years ago, Becca in the Books had hauled this or something, and I immediately put it on my wish list. And so, I don't know. I really want to read it. It's a trilogy. Stupid hiccups. So, we'll see. Next, I have a gift from my friend Alicia, and that is We Set the Dark on Fire. That didn't sound good. My cats are getting into stuff. I know it's a Pride book because it's on the Pride end cap at work. But other than that, Daniela Vargas is a top student at Medio School for Girls, where young women are trained to be perfect wives to distinguished men. But her pedigree is a lie. She must keep the truth hidden and be sent back to the fringes of society. But when a resistance group learns where she comes from and asks her to become one of their spies, Dani must decide, will she give up everything she strived for in pursuit of a free Medio and stand a chance at forbidden love? I have no clue. I'm on that blurb honestly makes me more confused than anything else. So, I don't know. Alicia brought it to me, and I'm curious to see how it goes. Looks like it'll be a quick read because the writing's not too small, and it doesn't go all the way to the ends of the pages. The next book I have, because don't need the receipt in it. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This is the first book in the Nevernight trilogy. This is about Mia Corvier. She's an assassin, and she is the daughter of an executed traitor. There's all kinds of stuff. It's very dark for Jay Kristoff. It's his first jump from writing YA into darker stuff. And he got a lot of flack for it because it got shelved in YA, and this is far from YA. It's got a map. I do know that this has a lot of Italian. Oh, it's got 2 maps. I know it has a lot of Italian references and whatnot, but I can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. I've already made sure that the next 2 books for the series are at the store, because reading Empire of the Vampire, I want to read Jay Kristoff's entire backlist. So, then we have Wheel of Time, The Eye of the World, Book 1 by Robert Jordan. When me and my husband had COVID, we binge watched the first season of this on Amazon. And I know this is kind of like a polarizing thing, but I thoroughly enjoyed the show to the point where I cannot wait for them to continue it. I need to know what's going on. So, we I went and bought the first book. This is an epic fantasy saga that, oh my goodness, it brings me Tolkien vibes. And being the generation I grew up in, like, I was in middle school. Oops, I kicked my tripod. I was in middle school when the Lord of the Rings movies came out. I think I was in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade, when the third one came out. I know that for sure. Pretty sure. Anyways, and I loved the movies. Absolutely loved them. Anytime I stayed homesick from school, I would watch all 3 of the extended editions the whole day. Just one right after the other. So when we watched Wheel of Time and I got those vibes, I'm like, there was that nostalgia bit for me, and I needed that when I had COVID, apparently, because I just did not feel good at all. Basically, it's the classic chosen one trope, but we don't know exactly who the chosen one is, and you gotta stop the bad guy, from regaining power and taking over the land, and, you know, that kind of thing. I can't describe it without, like, ruining it. The wheel of time turns and ages come and pass. What was, what will be, and what is may yet fall under the shadow. Let the dragon ride again on the winds of time. Blah 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 blah. Because I can't talk today. Like, I shouldn't have filmed. I should have gave up. But I needed all these to get them off my cart. Next is a YA. I saw this on a panel of different authors. It's called Cold the Night, Fast the Wolves by Meg Long. This was inspired by a Twitter thread where a girl was in the Iditarod. I say a girl, I'm assuming. The person was in the Iditarod and, like, started seeing things and thinking it was a demon that was following her or them and everything. But she's not, it turned out to not be a demon. In this, it is a sci-fi retelling. It's a sci-fi dystopian, featuring an Iditarod-esque race. And you're on an icy planet, which makes me think of the ones that Loki was adopted from in the Marvel movies. The only way you can get off this planet is if you win the race, the Iditarod-inspired race. So, a lone girl determined to survive, the feral wolf she must learn to trust, only one chance to escape their icy planet, a race across the deadly tundra. So, and then this is what it looks like naked. It's black with some silver foiling. And it says, cold is the night that falls, yet fast are the wolves that race the storm. I remember growing up watching Balto. And that, of course, was the inspiration for the whole Iditarod race. Like, that's where it all started. But the way she pitched this as a sci-fi Iditarod, I was captivated. And I can't wait to read it. I will probably save it for the colder months because it'll make more sense to read it during, when snow's flying. But it's a debut novel, so always want to support our debut authors. Lastly, a complete cover by The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport. Book 1 of the Blood Gift trilogy. A gift and a secret both could get her killed. So, naked. It's like this maroony with a embossment with the author's initials. With gold. Blending fantasy and science fiction, N.E. Davenport's fast-paced, action-packed debut kicks off a duology of loyalty and rebellion in which a young black woman must survive deadly trials in a racist and misogynistic society to become an elite warrior. I mean, that's just enough said, I guess. I don't know. I saw the cover in the hardcover shop at work, thought it was beautiful, was completely intrigued, and I'm just like, birthday. Granted, my birthday book haul this year is a lot smaller than it was last year. Still, birthday. So, those are all my new books, and now my haul shelf is empty on my cart, and it's gonna need to stay like that for a while. I need to put myself on a book buying ban. Because I now have 200 unread owned books. And I need to pump through some of them before I start buying more. So, if you've made it this far, comment down below what your most recent book purchase was. I'm curious. Or let me know which one of these books piques your interests. Remember, until next time, you are loved and you are valued.